I'm for reindustrialization, but boy, it's a tough thing to do. You have to do it carefully.
I think Biden's industrialization strategy was to industrialize more government. I mean, a lot of jobs created in government during Biden.
America brought back a chips industry in 18 months.
And what was the announcement this week? That a chips maker from Taiwan is opening up a massive operation in Arizona.
What's up, everyone? Scott Jennings just went head-to-head with a full CNN panel, and the topic? Trump's tariffs. Surrounded by emotional outbursts, hypotheticals, and hand-wringing, Scott stood his ground and calmly laid out why Trump's trade approach isn't reckless. It's long-term strategy. While the others tossed around panic and what-ifs, he brought clarity and focus. And now, this is Hush, where silence meets strategy and spin gets shut down. Let's roll the clip and watch Jennings do what he does best. Break the narrative and leave the panel looking completely lost. Let's go.
I actually don't think he's looking for the long term. I think tariffs need to be used in a really, really surgical way to create space for industry to happen in the U.S., but that requires an industrial strategy. We haven't seen any coherent industrial strategy from this administration yet. Now, you know, like him or not, Biden had an industrial strategy. It's not just about tariffs. You've got to convince business, okay, what's the competitive strategy here? How are we going to train workers? How are we going to work with allies? You have to build capacity. Is Europe going to want to be in supply chain alliances with us? Maybe not, because, you know, we're talking about slapping tariffs on Europe too. I just don't buy it over the long haul. I'm for reindustrialization, but boy, it's a tough thing to do. You have to do it carefully.
I think Biden's industrialization strategy was to industrialize more government. I mean, a lot of jobs created in government during Biden.
America brought back a chips industry in 18 months.
And what was the announcement this week? That a chips maker from Taiwan is opening up a massive operation in Arizona. What was the auto industry announcement this week? That Honda is putting a plant in Indiana. $1.7 trillion already in announcements from this administration on investing in the U.S. economy. I agree with you, what you said earlier, reindustrializing, juicing American manufacturing. It is a worthy goal, and that is the mission of the tariff plan. He strongly believes in tariffs, and if they're slapped on over a long period of time, we'll see if he's right.
But
the governor,
the governor
is exactly right about it.
I guess you guys are defending a tariff strategy that's actually not being put in place.
It's not a strategy.
The tariff strategy that you're describing is Trump saying, I believe in tariffs, carte blanche, let's just put them on there. But what he's actually doing is saying tariffs one day, no tariffs the next day. Tariffs one day, no tariffs the next day.
He's trying
if he really believed in what you are saying, he would just stick with his strategy, he's not doing it.
He's trying to find the sweet spot with countries and industries. And he said today there will be no more extensions past April.
I just have to say,
I'm not even seeing that happening. I mean, he didn't say, okay, we're going to take tariffs off China and Mexico for these specific things. He said, we're going to just do another month.
Yeah, it's a haphazard approach. I want to say that I think there's a lot of things at this table that people agree with. I don't want fentanyl in this country. I want it to be stopped. I don't take it lightly if one person dies from it or another person dies from it if it comes out from the country. But I also think that when you are applying and you're looking at the totality of circumstances, you can't just swing a pendulum back and forth with the American economy.
It actually makes sense why Trump's trade strategy might seem confusing, especially if all you've ever known is the typical DC playbook. For years, we've had leaders who deny economic struggles while handing out pretty spreadsheets and hoping for the best. They'd rather spin a press release than roll out a real plan. Be honest, did you ever hear a serious long-term economic vision from the last administration? Me neither. Just bloated spending and a flood of government-created jobs that never fix the root problems. Now, before we jump back into the video, because Scott's about to drop facts, let's clear this up. Some folks claim Trump has no strategy because one day there are tariffs and the next there aren't. But that's exactly the point. He's using tariffs as leverage, not as a permanent punishment. When countries like Mexico or China give ground and cooperate, that's when the pressure comes off. That's not inconsistency, that's negotiation with teeth. Trump's not playing to win a news cycle, he's playing to reset the rules. Meanwhile, critics are too focused on the short term, obsessing over the moment, looking for something to complain about. He's been back in for barely 6 weeks. Give it time. Now enough talk, let's let Scott take it from here.
I understand you all are saying it's a strategy, but what it feels like, and we talked a lot about feelings before November 5th, that the people felt like the economy wasn't good, even though the numbers said it was good. What we're saying is that people are feeling like the economy still isn't good, and the numbers are not good because the Dow is going down, because you slap a tariff on in 1 hour and 18 hours it's later. That feels unstable. It doesn't feel like a strategy. I hear you. You all think there's something there, but I think in short order, the American people are going to say, and to just callously say, people are going to lose their jobs. I didn't ever hear that before November 5th. People are going to lose their jobs. Americans, are you okay with losing your jobs? You be the judge.
Bill Clinton said it really loud in the early 90s when he said we're going to get rid of 13% of the workforce.
I was 8 years old, so I can't really say
that's a reality.
But I'm talking about now that I'm an adult.
Let me just play what Republicans in Congress are hearing from their districts and what they're saying about all of this.
Almost every industry in Kentucky has come to me and said it will hurt our industry and push up prices of homes, cars, and so I'm going to continue to argue against tariffs.
Should he back off of it if it starts to hurt the constituents?
When we start losing, you back off. You know, there's such a thing as a strategic retreat. At the end of the day, I think we have more leverage than any other nation, but we got to be smart, and we don't have all the leverage.
Maybe Tom Tillis is right. This was a retreat. I mean, he backed off. He absolutely backed off.
There is no question that inside the Republican Party, there is some resistance to this. I mean, that's just a fact. And there are issues, particularly on trade issues, where Trump is not an orthodox conservative. He didn't run on it. He has been very open about it. Some of the party supports him. Some don't. In my home state of Kentucky, both Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul, not often aligned on issues, are both against it. You hear this from some corners of the party, but Donald Trump believes in this. And I suspect there is going to be some tariff strategy over the entire first term. And
But Scott, I hear what you're saying Trump believes in, but do you think it's a good idea?
Right. Yeah, that's my question.
I trust the president to deal with Canada and Mexico.
Okay, but do you think it's a good idea to
slap
25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico and then take them off and then put them back on and take them off?
And what happens in a year? What happens in a year? I'm curious
Everybody yell at me, then I'll
I'm
answer.
not yelling at you. Cut it out. Don't do that to me.
Everybody go, and then I'll answer one at a time.
Don't do it, Scott. Don't do it.
I'm going to let Ashley
Don't do it. I, as your colleague and friend, that we have these debates because we actually care about this country. I am curious. Okay, if this is the strategy, but we've been saying it's only 40 days. Well, what happens when it's 40 months? Like, what happens when the strategy hasn't paid off? When is the intervention point?
That's your prediction. Well, the interventions in American politics are elections. I mean,
So let me get this straight. The economy's struggling, and we're just going to pin that on Trump's tariffs. That's the argument? Because if we're being real, what was the excuse for the last 4 years when things were tanking under the previous administration? Oh, right? I already know the answer. Incompetence and laziness. One of the panelists tried to ask, well, what if things don't work out in 4 months or 40? But Scott was quick to correct. It's been 6 weeks. 6. Here's the truth. If Trump's strategy fails, the midterms will make that loud and clear, and that would seriously damage everything he's trying to build. But don't act like Trump's unaware of that. He understands the stakes better than anyone. He's not guessing. He's not flipping a coin. He's playing a long game, using tariffs not as punishment, but as leverage to protect the American economy and strengthen us from the inside out. And for those saying this approach feels chaotic, no, it's calculated. He believes this is what will truly save American industry. Whether you agree or not, one thing's clear. You already know what to do. Hit share, and let's wrap it up.
this whole economic strategy is not just tariffs. You've got the Congress working on the reconciliation package. You are going to try to see some cuts in federal spending, make permanent the tax cuts, changes in energy policy. In his mind, it all works together. And you know when you get a report card at the next election.
Can I ask you, Ronna, really tomorrow could be a very big, maybe a very bad day economically. What are the markets expecting?
Downturn for sure. I mean, the jobs cuts, the sense that consumer spending is buttoning up, the sense that businesses, because of the uncertainty, are pulling back. You know, I agree with what's been said about fentanyl, but let's put things in perspective. 0.2% of fentanyl coming across Canada. Guess what does come across Canada? Lumber, energy. I spoke to a home builder that said, you know, we want to put a stop on building right now. We're going to pull back at a time when we have a housing shortage because we don't know what the lumber costs are going to be. Those are the kinds of things that business does not want to hear. And by the way, this is even if Kamala Harris were in office, this would be a very delicate moment economically. We are 6 years overdue for a recession if you discount the COVID blip, which I would because of the pandemic. This is not a time to be playing fast and loose.
You know what? I take it all back. The lady said she spoke to a builder, so clearly she's done her homework, right? Guess that settles it. We should just base trade policy on vibes and anecdotes now. Classic Democrat logic. But here's what actually matters. Is it wrong for the Trump administration to say that global trade is rigged against the US? Because it is, and we're long overdue for a correction. The mission here is simple: level the playing field. Right now, we're getting played in almost every trade deal. And the idea that Trump didn't have an industrialization plan, that's just false. He's actively pushing for Made in America, giving businesses real reasons to build here again. He's fighting for energy independence, which we actually had before we traded it in for Green New Deal fantasies and political favors. And with what's going on at our northern border. Yeah, energy independence isn't a slogan, it's survival. Let me close with this. For years, the US has been undercut by corporate greed, DC lobbyists, and failed diplomacy. But now, with tariffs, supply chain overhauls, and real scrutiny on foreign operations, we finally have a shot to turn it around. If this moment slips by, it may never come again. So I want to hear from you. Did Scott Jennings hit the mark? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoy seeing CNN panels get shredded by facts and reason, hit that next video. I've got more where this came from. As always, I've got the smartest, sharpest audience on the internet. Thanks for being here. And hey, Jesus loves you. I'll see you in the next one.